NLP Master Practitioner. Zetetic NLP Master Practitioner. This will be of interest to you if you are already a qualified NLP practitioner and you want to deepen your neuro-linguistic programming ability, your knowledge and your ability. So we are going to be doing a master practitioner. It's focused on modeling, which is, as far as I'm concerned, is the core skill of NLP. And here today, what I'm going to do is outline the program briefly, give 2 examples of modeling projects that I have done, both of which took about 2 years to validate. So it's rigorous. And then at the end of the video, I'll give you 1 tip if you're modeling, which gives you a focus of attention that makes a real difference to the results that you can achieve. The sorts of people that will be interested in this, apart from already having an NLP practitioner and wanting to take it further, will be professional people, coaches, trainers, chief executives, salespeople, artists, writers, painters, sports people who want to take their performance to the next level. So modeling is about strategies of genius. Genius, according to the dictionary, Oxford Dictionary, is about a single, the definition I've chosen anyway that suits me, a single strongly marked capacity or aptitude, a single strongly marked capacity or aptitude. I'm looking down at my computer because I've got the notes there. When I hear the word genius, I think, oh, that's far too extravagant a word, but I can cope with a single or strongly marked aptitude or capacity. And the modeling projects that I'm going to talk about came from my own predicament, things that I was interested in. You know, they might not be things that you were interested in, but they're just examples. So the program runs over 20 days. It's in 5 groups of 4 days. And the first module is about modeling. What is it? How do you do it? How do you identify a skill that you want to add to your capacity? How do you elicit it? How do you test it? How do you evidence it? And transfer it to other people. So if you can't evidence it and transfer it, then the chances are you actually haven't got the strategy. And the idea here really is to expand your capacity in specific areas. So the second module is about beliefs, because as soon as you set an outcome, which is an improvement on your present situation, then you normally come up against what is stopping you achieving that, and that is normally in the area of what you believe is possible. So one of the projects that I did was on academic grades. I had a history to contend with when I did this project. I had an academic history to contend with, and I had adopted a certain identity in relation to academic work, none of which I realized until I got into the project, and actually beginning to achieve distinctions in my academic work on a degree program, a master's degree program, shattered an ancient identity, which by and large had been projected onto boys of my generation who played sport. Sport I was distinctive at. But there was a sort of mantra at the time, which was if you were good at sport, you couldn't possibly be good at academics. The two didn't go together. I mean, I know it's not true now. I know it's not true now, but I believed it at the time. So that's one of the projects that I did. The belief work helped enormously with that. The third module is about language, and we're going to take the basic practitioner models of meta model, Milton model, and metaphor, and we're going to advance our understanding of those and how to use them. So there's quite a bit about utilization in that module. And the fourth module is about putting the project together. And the fifth module is about integrating all the work that we've done and integrating all the work that we've done and preparing a presentation where the participants transfer what they've learnt to a group of peers who know about NLP. So that's roughly the shape of the course. It's a modelling focus, the core skill of NLP. And the two projects that I've referred to already, one of them, which was about academic grades, and the second project was about learning to dance. And in fact, that project strategy ended up in this book, Salsa and Merengue, by the author Paul Harris, where my finger is. Paul Harris, who was one of my models, and I didn't know it when I approached him. I was approaching him on instinct, really, because I saw him at a dance club in London, in Carnaby Street in Soho, where I was going after work on a Friday to learn to dance. And he was one of the teachers. He was between careers. He was an international dancer, and now he's a world famous choreographer, and he's been involved in films like Harry Potter. But none of this I knew at the time. But I did model him and his strategy for learning to dance a step. I chose the cha-cha-cha, not the salsa. But that strategy later appeared in the book that I'm showing you. The strategy later appeared in that book. Paul would say to me that I didn't teach him anything, and he's quite right, I didn't. What I did was find out what he knew and his strategy for approaching dance, which he used consciously or otherwise with students that he taught, including amateur dancers later to become world champions. So this is a proven strategy, although my objectives were far more modest. I really just wanted to go social dancing, and I wanted to be safe and stable with my partner while I was moving around the dance floor. And I had done ballroom dancing lessons in my teens, and still I felt there was something I didn't know, and I was able to resolve that when I did the modelling work with him. And now, even though I will look very much like the average Joe on the dance floor, I simply won't stand out. I'm not a world champion. I'm not in the Strictly Dance standard. I just like to move to music. And I found out that I can move to music in a very modest way, safely, with a partner, in social dance. Okay. That project took me about 2 years to validate fully, and I explained that on the course. Not all modeling projects have to take that amount of time, but I am very interested in proofing, evidencing something that works. So when I set out to do my modeling projects, I was aware that I wanted to, beyond doubt, evidence that I had a strategy that would work. And if I practiced it, it would lead me in the direction of that genius place that the geniuses, or genii, demonstrate when they show their talent. On the academic front, when that took 2 years also to prove, I had to get the strategy. In a real live situation, I was doing an MBA, so I didn't really have time to fail. So it was a really high pressure time. And I got it. I significantly shifted my grades using the same software, the same IQ, a different strategy. And then I transferred that to my daughter, who was shortly afterwards, who was doing a bachelor's degree. And it worked for her too. So I've got the evidence that modeling works. And this program is focused on modeling. The main benefit for those who want to deepen their knowledge is, in my opinion, it completely breaks open the world of NLP. Once you know about modeling, the fact that there is a new technique is not going to bother you. You are going to be creating your own techniques because you'll see the underlying structure or the underlying strategy of what's going on. Okay, and the tip, when you're modeling, the tip really is to focus on what people do rather than their explanation of what they do. Focus on what they actually do rather than their explanation of what they do. I went to many classes with Paul, he would explain how we should be doing certain things. But it wasn't until I observed him actually doing it that the penny dropped and my focus changed. And you will come across this, in all kinds of walks of life. I work in business strategy, and people talk a good game in business strategy, but what they do demonstrates whether they've got a good game or not. And this is worth gold in the business context, money, certainly. If you are looking at what people do rather than what they say they do. Okay, possibly that sounds boring, but if you're interested in breaking through or moving on from any of your personal predicaments, in this program, apart from learning the skills, is going to be, it's going to be worth its weight in gold. So this is an NLP Master Practitioner program. I suppose as an added bonus, I suppose it's worth saying, we give you a process model that if you apply really helps you achieve the outcomes you want to achieve. So NLP is outcome oriented. We at Zetetic have a process model that facilitates those outcomes. If you want further information, zps8.co.uk, zps8.co.uk. And finally, if you want more on this, subscribe to the channel. Thank you.